live.
Says we're live. I don't know if we are or not, but it says we are.
Well, my phone said we're live.
Oh, did it?
Yeah.
That when you said it was exactly when the live popped up on the corner here.
Technology, dude. It's amazing.
Yeah, it is. Except there's probably a commercial playing before it starts.
They're probably advertising Dyson vacuums or Joel's show or some crappy new movie nobody cares about.
Did you
Good
see
stuff like that.
Joel's new promo for his channel?
Not yet. Okay, honestly, before we go any further, I feel like a complete jerk here, but
you're going to do a spoiler alert. You don't want to be spoiled on anything on Twitter because you haven't looked yet, right?
I saw I think it was JT nitpicking Joel because there was a hole in the wall behind him.
Oh God. Poor Joel. He's a busy man. He's got too much on his hands to mess with a hole in the wall. That's what shelves are for.
That's where Sean sits, so he can sit there with his little switcher unit and go, take one, take two, take one. Shooting the video,
So let's go into the chat here. We got, oh, you do it. Says he's going to rate us in 15 minutes. Of course, I think he posted that 15 minutes ago.
Probably.
We got Andy Outdoor Nerd in the house. How you doing? Thank you for joining. Rover, thank you for joining. Let's see. We got Brennan Jim's in the house. Thank you for joining. I think that's going to be it for the moment.
Because it's not me. Because we're doing
I'm all looking at your picture. And you're like,
because we're doing an early night stream, I have.
Oh, you hate her. You hate her. You hate her.
Just to annoy Jimmy, I'm like, ooh, yeah. We're gonna run down.
Just to annoy Calvin, all I gotta do is bring up the Diet Coke.
Okay, without spoiling anything, because this was already on Twitter, have you heard anything back yet from Proto Pasta about potentially getting some stainless steel filament to make a giveaway?
No, I didn't. I'm not the type to go on there saying, please, would you send me? I don't do that to people. I just don't. I mean, if they choose to contact me and they like to send something, it'd be great. At the same time, if I can, what I'm planning to do is try to save up the money and go ahead and buy it before I hit 7,000. And at this point, that's going to be a while. So I'll probably be able to get for Christmas. Money. What's that?
Everybody donate money in the chat so Jimmy can buy the filament.
No.
I was going to say go buy a bottle opener, but then it's like, oh, wait, whoops. He's kicking back the money to me. That won't work.
So 500 grams, which is what it's a half a spool, is $49.99. So $50.
Yeah. How much?
And then they sell a 2 pound or a 2 kilogram spool of, I think, is it 2 kilogram or 1 kilogram?
It's a kilo. I think it's a kilo or 2 kilos. I think it's actually, I don't know. I'd have to check.
I want to say it's 2 kilos for $200.
Oh.
Of course, it's still $50
right. Then you're not doing the whole filament swap out mid print going, oh, please, Daniel, don't die on me.
So what the conversation became on Twitter was reprint Daniel Noray's head, cozy mug thingy watchy, in Protopasta stainless steel and polish it. And do a giveaway with that. So, man, if it messed up, though, that's an expensive mess up.
Oh, heck yeah.
Of course, I can probably beat somebody to death with it. Is that stuff pretty heavy?
Oh, geez, yes. A spool of the stuff. Let me see. Do I have some metal fill? No, I don't. Let's just say the metal fill spools, when you're looking at it, you're going, that's not 500 grams of filament, but it is because they're doing it by weight, not by length.
So I wonder if 500 milligrams would be enough to print that.
Look at the lengths of it required for the print, and that'll tell you.
Okay.
I mean,
that's fair enough.
I think it should print it, though.
Okay. Hey, Jeff, thank you for joining. Got everybody. We got Mr. Carol Science in the house too. Print very good. Hello. We're probably getting rated right about now.
Yeah. Well, do we want to start talking about the topic? Because we can actually, in a sense, thank Print Very Good for giving us kind of the idea for this a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
And he was mentioning his issue, which both me and Jimmy looked into, and it got really interesting, actually.
Yeah, it actually did. Because what? Well, let's see here. What is the name of the topic here? It's pretty much where's the line between a what you consider maintenance and something that's considered a warranty voiding repair. Now, in the case with what we were talking about, it was actually it was Dremel, their idea builder, correct?
Correct.
Okay, so it was mentioned on Twitter that even changing the nozzle would void the warranty, and we're all like, yeah. Calvin and I actually got the user's manual, read through it, and honest, when you get a chance, go over there to their website, download the manual, and read through it. The actual warranty just pretty much says, follow the steps in the manual, blah, blah, blah. If anything comes up, you must contact service for getting an RA number for.
Sorry, I was whipping my phone.
Dropping over there, man.
Oh, just
over there eating your peanut butter and jelly sandwich and dropping stuff. What's in that peanut butter and jelly sandwich?
It's dropping some 304 stainless. That's all. No big deal. I was trying to find something while you were talking, so carry on. Sorry about that. This is typical madness 10 minutes into the stream as I'm going, oh crap, I forgot something for the stream because I was doing 10 other things. So carry on.
I was going to say, I didn't know they included that in peanut butter and jelly sandwiches now. I thought that was only in chocolate.
No, not yet.
Anyway, we got to looking into it, and actually it states that if you cannot unclog your extruder using the little tool to force the filament out, if the nozzle is clogged, you have to contact customer service for repair. In other words, they don't want you taking the nozzle off and cleaning it out or replacing the nozzle. And I got to checking, and I don't even see where you can buy replacement nozzles for it.
No.
So then the question becomes, where's the point come where what we would consider standard maintenance? I mean, the D200's got a proprietary nozzle setup on it, granted. But the thing is, they don't void the warranty if you remove it. Now, whether there's actually a warranty per se that to worry about, that's another matter. Most of your printers, if you go and replace the nozzle on one, that doesn't usually void a actual warranty because that's just considered a user replaceable part, and it's not considered. Now, I've heard rumors too that Lulzbot and many others also have something where they don't straight out tell you you can't change it, but they imply that they don't want you to change it.
Well, I mean, the one thing I will say is, at least with an Ultimaker, they straight up say in the warranty that we don't cover consumable parts like nozzles, Teflon isolators, and I think the Bowden tube and maybe one other thing, but that's perfectly fair because let's face it, those are consumable items that will wear out. But I have read in the forums where people will have issues with, in the past, they'd have problem with a trace breaking on the heated bed. So what would they do? They would contact support. Support would literally tell them how to resolder the thing. And if that failed, support would send them a new bed free of charge because they got permission from service to do that. Otherwise, it would have voided the warranty. But there's a good example of the company going, yeah, this is going to be a little dicey, but we're going to, hold your hand through the process. And if it doesn't work, we'll make it right. Of which in their case, it pretty much seems like, hi, Dremel, my machine, is kind of under extruding right now. Okay, please put the machine back in the original box with all the original crap, ship it back to us, wait a week and a half.
Postage paid, mind you. I believe that means not only do you pay the postage to ship it back to them, but don't you have to pay for the shipping back to you?
Well, even if you just have to pay for it one way, I don't want to know how much that is using the cheapest method available. I mean, it's not like you can just take the thing to your local home improvement store where you bought it from and just switch it out. You know, it's personally, it's a little bit scary just because it's like, what are we going to come to? Our printers
Well, in fact, it says in the manual, do not return to the store where you purchased it. You must contact this number.
Yeah, I know, but I'm saying it's not like you can just march over there and swap it out like you can do with most stuff, where if you have a problem with something you bought at Home Depot, if it's within the warranty and you got the receipt, they'll gladly go, oh yeah, here, we'll just go grab another one, switch it out, and have a nice day, get back on with your project, you know, or they can at least help you out at the store and get you through the process more quickly because, you know, but I understand different companies have different policies, but yeah, it is a little bit frustrating to say the least.
Yeah. And then that opens up a whole nother conversation as time goes on, and different companies like HP, different ones like that, brother, I'm sure will eventually get into the game. As other companies ramp up and they start kind of introducing products into that market, how are they going to handle it? You know good and well that they're going to lock it down way worse than what Dremel did. And from what I can tell with Dremel, it's actually a nozzle that you can unscrew, but more likely like an MK8 nozzle or something like that, that you can unscrew, screw a new one into it, and you're on your way. But you know good and well, when you get into those other companies, they're going to go with something proprietary, something like what G-Tech does. Let's see. I know that's got some filament in that. Yeah, I got next one up here. Nope, that's the wrong box.
Well, the best way to describe it to
anyway
is
they actually have a proprietary nozzle that kind of moves in and that clips into place. And I'm sure that's the kind of a move that most of your other companies will end up going with, just to make it where you can't replace that nozzle.
Well, I mean, Ultimaker's come out. Well, you remember from the Ultimaker event that we all went to at Autodesk, they were talking about the BB cores on the Ultimaker 3, but their thing is there already were companies making their own versions of it. You got to remember, though, the Ultimaker 3 is definitely a machine geared more towards an engineering department, a school, or somewhere that's not going to sit there and spend 3 hours disassembling the hot end and cleaning it out. No. They just want swap in and out capabilities, and then if they need to, they can send it off to somebody else to fix it or things like that. But yeah, I mean, I'm personally not against the idea of print cores. I think it's a great idea, but it needs to be something that's not going to pigeonhole you into one specific product and they hold you over a barrel and they charge you some just exorbitant rate for it. Granted, they even let you fix the thing. I mean, I'm personally surprised that personal printers even allow you to change the ink and the toner on them, considering how locked down they are.
Well, you take at my night job, they have Lexmark printers. And honestly, the technicians come in, the technicians have no clue how to work on them. They actually have to contact Lexmark, and Lexmark will walk them through a lot of times on what to take apart, or, oh no, you can't take that apart. You just have to replace the unit. They actually have that point. And it's the same way with some of the refrigerators anymore. The service department will go out and they'll go to repair a refrigerator. And on this one particular brand, Life's Good.
Maybe it should be Life's Not Good.
Yeah, sometimes. They actually have it where if they get to this point where they have to remove this one panel, and it's 4 screws, but I believe they're the security bits, they are not allowed to remove that panel. If it gets to the point where they believe that whatever the problem is behind that panel, they say, you have to call the 1-800 number. We will either send one of our technicians out to redo the repair, or we will issue the RA number so you can go ahead and just do a replacement for it. They do not want anybody other than them opening that panel.
What kind of nuclear secrets are hidden behind there that's so top secret. I mean,
it reminds me of a joke my dad told me a long time ago. So there's this old man took his pocket watch to the jeweler and said, "Hey, my watch quit working." So the guy goes and he pops off the back of it, dumps, turns it over, and this bug falls out. Old man says, "Oh, I see what happened. The engineer died." Horrible. I know, it's horrible.
Mr. Carroll Science made a good point. He goes, at some point, it's worth it just to void the warranty. And yeah, I'll put it this way. If you know that you've got like a couple of days left on the warranty and trying to replace the item is going to be more of a pain than it is a help, then yeah. And we're not saying that you should or should not void the warranty on your item. It's ultimately you purchase the item, you do what you want with it.
Right.
But when they make things so ridiculous that you literally, if you stare at the thing wrong, they go, "Oh, void warranty. We're not going to fix that."
If brother told you that you're not allowed to pull the cartridge out of the printer to change the toner on the drum portion of it, if brother told you that, you'd be like, why in the world do I have a printer that I can't replace the toner cartridge on by myself?
Yeah.
That's the equivalent to what this is.
Pretty much. I mean, I understand if they don't want people getting into the main board and the electronics and stuff. That is completely understandable from a safety standpoint and everything like that. But changing a stinking nozzle is like changing the ink cartridge in your printer. At least make the people contact support and then have support walk them through it, not have support tell them, okay, box your machine up and ship it back to us, or if it's the case of a proprietary print core, okay, here's a discount on the already way overpriced print core that nobody can really knock off because we've got our own DRM and FIC, magical stuff, so nobody can copy it. It reaches a point of just almost like utter ridiculousness where you're like, are they charging me this much money for something just because, they don't want somebody else to copy it? Like they're spending more money preventing somebody from copying it than they would if they just had somebody copy it and they sold their crappy knockoff,
Well, the thing is, I understand where companies are coming from is from the standpoint of they don't want you to buy a 3D printer from them and completely modify it and then say, it's messed up, I want it fixed. And then they get stuck with no kind what kind of a nightmare to try to repair. I completely understand that. But when it comes to something that should be just a user, it's an item that's going to wear out. It's an item that from time to time needs to be replaced or repaired. And unfortunately going forward, it's not going to get better because, and like, this is another subject that Calvin and I were talking about. There comes a point where everything becomes throwaway. A lot of our cars anymore, they have an aluminum engine block. They've got a lot of aluminum parts to it held together with steel fasteners, which right there's a corrosion issue. But in the long run, those engines are not meant to be tore apart and rebuilt like the engines were back 50 years ago or even 30 years ago when they had a cast iron block that were meant to be, machined out, oversized pistons, oversized rings. You could go through an engine, 2 or 3 times, boring it out before you finally get to the point where it's like, we can't bore it no more. But that's the same way when it comes to even like laser printers. Okay, the brother printer I got right now, I can print with it. I can go ahead and get the toner for it. But the moment the drum starts to give out on it, which is usually around 10,000 pages, that drum costs $100. The printer costs $75. Is it worth $100 to replace a drum on a printer that you've had for 2 years or 3 years at that point? Or just get another printer. And it finally comes down to the point it's like, get another printer because it's cheaper.
Well, Mr. Carroll Science dude needs to be like our third co-host or something. Guys spouting all kinds of great wisdom tonight. He made a good point. He goes, the main companies that are doing this are targeting the plug and play users. How many simply don't know how to fix it Why don't more schools have 3D printers? That's why. And also, why don't more people have 3D printers is another good one. You got to remember, most people don't kind of understand how simple it is to do most maintenance on these machines. It's not like changing the oil on my 96 Civic where I got to jack the thing up, I got to scoot underneath, I got to undo the drain plug, I got to drain the oil, I got to put it back in, I got to put 3.5 quarts of, I think it's like 10W30 or something like that in there. And then I got to change the filter, and then I'm good to go. It's not like you got to do, and then I got to dejack the car, I got to run the engine, check my oil level. It's not like that. This is like, oh, I got to put gas in my car. It's like really basic stuff, changing a nozzle. Yes, it is a little bit tricky. And yes, you have to be careful you don't burn your fingers off. But if you wear gloves and you're not an idiot, it's not that hard to do. And I don't see why they couldn't make an insulated little nozzle changing tool even, just throwing that out there. Yeah.
Oh, Greg's in the house. Thank you, Greg, for joining.
Oh, Greg's also spitting some good stuff. He says, if you don't know how to hook up a paper printer to your Wi-Fi network nowadays, you shouldn't own a 3D printer. Boom.
I ain't going to name no names. I'm not even going to say the form I saw this on, but a person today built a printer, assembled it, it looked great, and then was complaining that they couldn't figure out how to print on that printer because it wouldn't attach to their tablet. Now, mind you, it's not a Wi-Fi printer either. It's not advertised as a Wi-Fi printer. It's for your old-fashioned, you take the SD card, you either put it on the SD card or you plug it into the printer and print directly from the computer and print directly to the printer. It's not meant for a Wi-Fi printing job. So it's like, just walk away, don't say a word. I kid you not. I'm like, la, 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 la.
And I'm sitting here going, oh my gosh, printing from an SD card is like the world's simplest thing to do. You load the program on the SD card, you move the SD card to your MakerBot Thingomatic, you stick it in there, you select the file, and oh my word, we're printing. Really hard stuff here, people. I mean, I had to go to school for 4 years to learn how to do that, and I barely scraped by with C's in my classes. You know what I mean?
Yeah, the printer I saw this on, it didn't have Wi-Fi. This printer was a older style printer, but that's still relevant. Much like this one over here. It doesn't have Wi-Fi. It uses an SD card, or you can plug it in if you want to, however. But yeah, I can't connect it to this.
According to this person, you should be able to. I mean, they said it was doable, so why isn't it?
Oh, man. But yeah, I understand these companies. I understand where they're coming from, because especially when it comes to new users and people who are not familiar with 3D printing. Of course, people who are familiar with 3D printing aren't going to move to those kind of printers. They're going to go to something that they can hack, that they can do their own stuff to it. They're not going to want to be tied down to something, that kind of a setup.
Well, the other thing I will say is also you got to look at it from an economic standpoint. I'm using the example of model trains here, but this totally holds true. You buy your little train here for, let's just say, for easy math, $50. Cost the company $20 to make it. Let's just say they make $30 in profit. Life's good. So then the company sells a whole bunch of widgets and doodads and add-ons that cost them pennies on the dollar to make, but they sell them specifically for that model. Where are they going to make all their money off of? Not selling the actual model, of all the widgets and doodads and add-ons for that model, because people are going to be buying multiples of them when they're only going to be buying one of that thing. Or it's the same with radio-controlled car parts.
Give me just a moment. Burning Gems? No, it's not better than Raspberry Pi. Believe me. I'm not going to say the name, but no, it's not. Go ahead.
All good. So I mean, you got to also remember that the companies, I'm just going to use, say, your paper printer company, they're not making the money off of you buying the printer itself. They're making their money off the consumables for it, or any software, but usually it's the consumables for it, because they know you're going to burn through those.
Toner, the drum, the whatever it is. Yeah, that's where all the money is it's in the consumables.
Yeah, it's, or it's in the accessories, it's in the stuff that they know is going to be an easy buy for somebody, but it costs them, an obscenely cheap amount of money to make, but they can charge a ridiculous markup on it. And that's where they're making most of their money, so you gotta keep that in mind. But at the same time, if the company is, you kind of think about it though, if the company is selling replacement consumables, wouldn't they make their money off of that? I'm just kind of thinking up ideas here, because there's some people who will literally buy, I'm just going to use Ultimaker as an example here. They will literally only buy Ultimaker filament for their Ultimaker printer, only buy parts directly from the company, period. They won't even go to a reseller. They'll go straight to the company, even though everybody else is selling the same thing. They're just like, oh no, I've got to go straight to the company and buy it from them. But there's not a lot of people doing that. Who knows?
Yeah. Got any more points to make on this fiasco?
Well, one thing that is somewhat true, though, that Mr. Carroll signed, actually, first to start with Greg, he made a good point. He goes, that's like buying a really expensive toaster and wanting to know how to hook it up to your refrigerator. Yeah, there's people who literally will try and do that. Case in point, the Wi-Fi thing on a machine that was never intended for Wi-Fi. And Mr. Carroll Science made a good point. He goes, it goes back to a few streams ago when we said that all we can do is make recommendations and raise awareness. You will spend more on upgrades than if you just bought a better printer. Find balance. And that's true. I mean, don't go out there buying the dirt cheapest machine that you know is not the best, expecting the moon, then dump more money into the thing than it would have, time, money, and effort into the thing than it would have cost just to buy the slightly better machine and gone with that. It's all up to you.
Except for that one, $50 and you get yourself a gold mine.
Well, mister, I got a what for cheap. But no, I mean, then again, though, that kind of goes back to the whole stream of you're taking it from the vantage point of a hobbyist, not somebody who's trying to do this commercially that just needs it to work, period.
Right. And that's one thing. None of these machines are commercial grade. The one that we're talking about is not even commercial grade.
Oh, heck no.
I mean, Ultimaker is borderline commercial grade, and it's a very nice printer, but it's still not considered a professional.
I call it prosumer because it fits. It's not as expensive as a Stratasys or professional level machine that does about the same thing. But at the same time, they have lots of case studies, though, where there's engineering firms that literally have print farms with like 5 or 10 or more Ultimakers, literally just churning out engineers' parts all day long. So that way they can have a physical model the next morning and go, yeah, wow, this looks really good, or no, this doesn't work. But they don't they can't, for the expense of one professional machine, they can distribute the manufacturing around a bunch of cheaper machines. They're still getting the same end product, but their productivity just went way through the roof because they didn't need, or they couldn't justify the really expensive professional machine. And that's not to say that professional machines do not have their place in the manufacturing environment. But if you're just making a prototype that you're going to throw away at the end of the day or recycle.
Right. There comes that balance where it's like, do you want to spend $50,000 for a machine to make 1 foot parts, or buy an Ultimaker that prints 1 foot parts perfectly fine
and afford a ton of them while you're at
for the price of $50,000 you can buy a lot of printers.
Yeah, seriously. And you could probably hire somebody on to run them, hire 3 shifts worth of people and still have money left over at the end of the year. I'm being a little bit silly when I say that, but you get what I mean. You can, I'll use myself as a case study. Usually I will prototype stuff on the Ultimaker or the Moai or both before I upload the models to Shapeways, before I offer that as an option. So that way I know things are going to work before I send it out there. So that way I know, yeah, this model is going to work great, or no, this doesn't. I can know that ahead of time, and I'm not going, well, is that going to work or not? And then I'm stuck scratching my head. Makes life a lot easier.
Burning Jim's got it right. Manufacturing versus research or engineering samples, big difference. And that's exactly right. When it comes to manufacturing, you've got to have the speed, you got to have the reliability and everything of that larger machine. But when it comes to playing around, that's definitely where the other ones come in.
I mean,
do I ever do anything that requires anything more than this or this back here? No. At my level, I fiddle. I don't do much of anything that way that would warrant the reliability of a $50,000 machine. I don't even do anything that requires what Calvin's got behind him on the shelf.
hey, don't make the Thingomatic mad. It might drive down there and beat you up in the middle of the night.
I'm talking about the one over your other shoulder.
I know, I'm teasing. Of which you've actually never met either of the perms, which is pretty funny.
I know. I've never been inside your house. You just barely let me take you to the front door.
I told him to drop me off 4 blocks away so he wouldn't know where I lived. I'm kidding.
I'm like, can I come in, Calvin? And he's like, no. Not tonight.
After driving all over Marin and drags me to get crack bowls, Panda Express, and scares the crap out of me at Fleet Week. Real stand-up guy right there, y'all. Real stand-up guy. But no, I mean, a good example of needing really reliable equipment is my friend who has his machine shop in Modesto literally put a story on his Instagram about a customer that called him up at like 3, like earlier in the day going, oh my gosh, I need some big parts cranked out like as fast as you humanly can do them. Like literally as soon as they are done, can you get them driven over to me? And I think Menlo Park. So he literally starts cranking these things out. Like there's some big parts, and I'll see if I can't find the Instagram thing and tweet it Jimmy afterwards, or I'll just tweet it out to you guys. But it literally was like he got done at like midnight or 1 a.m., had an Uber driver drive them from Modesto to Menlo Park to the guy because he had no other choice. He wasn't going to do it. He was too tired. And the guy got him, and the guy was just like beyond thrilled. But there's a good example of where you need crazy reliable equipment, because if anything went wrong with the equipment doing that, it would have been bad.
Mr. Curl Science, I followed Tom's guide to build a Prusa clone from scratch for my son. Remember I sent you the link to that the other day? I'm like, do you remember this?
Oh, I love that. I still love the part when Tom tells a German joke, and he goes, you see it says Prusa on there? So we know it's genuine. And I'm just sitting there like, oh my gosh, Tom made a joke. This is great. Totally stereotyping.
Yeah, that was the funniest part.
I know, because he does it all with like the typical German straight face, no emotion. He's just like, you see it says Prusa, so we know it's genuine. And I'm just like, as he's got like his little MDF frame that he cut out with like a hacksaw and a router, and I'm like, Joseph's just watching this going, no.
I wonder how thick Travis could cut out on that laser printer, that laser cutter.
I think he set up to 1/4 of an inch.
Of steel or aluminum?
Steel. I don't think he can do aluminum.
Probably not. Well, you might if you do it really, really slow.
Well, the thing is, I know when he tried to cut brass for me, because he didn't have nitrogen as the purge gas, it oxidized all the zinc in it. And
yeah, that would.
For some just awful edges that were pretty much like impossible to clean up. So, I mean, he was nice enough to cut them out for me. His boss didn't care. His boss thought it was cool because this was back when they first had the machine. So they were trying new stuff. Because, yeah, if we had nitrogen, we would get precise cuts. He goes, but because we have oxygen for steel, that's what it is. I'm like, hey, I appreciate it. It was still nice of him to do that.
Yeah, plus the pressure they have to go at, it would suck up the nitrogen so fast.
I mean, it literally has like those 6 full-size oxygen tanks. I think for a time they were using those as like one of those manifold units, and I think they actually moved to a liquid oxygen dewar.
Yeah, they did.
Which is just like,
yeah, the thing looks like a science project, but man, can it cut!
Oh, that thing is on
right there. Right there. There's the proof. This is what he cut for me that day when I went to go see him. That thing cut that in like no time.
Oh, I know.
It was hilarious.
Of cutting out some stuff for me, and literally he was like, all right, I'm gonna cut your stuff, pushes the start button, and literally in like 10 seconds he's cut out like all these intricate pieces from like a 6x6 piece of sheet brass, and I'm like, what? That's it? It was nuts.
When did you go up there?
He sent me a video.
Going
to there is on my to-do list at some point in the future, hopefully.
When you get ready to do it, you let me know. I'll go with you because that is the coolest place.
I had visions of Jimmy swinging by my house and picking me up and driving because Jimmy loves driving.
I would have took you past it that day, except you, if I remember right, you were either at a train show or you were down south. I forget which it was.
Either case, I was not in the area, and I was like I think I was actually at a train show that day. We were having wiring problems, and I was just like, man, I could have been up there with Travis and Jimmy, but no, I'm stuck here in like San Jose with wiring problems.
Boom. Screaming and coming over and kicking your train around. And
no, the kids at the San Jose show are better than the kids at the Ardenwood show. Oh, those kids were bad. Oh, it was bad. Whatever. You just get used to it after a while. It's pretty much kind of like when you go to a train show, you hope nothing goes wrong, but if something does, it's just the gamble you take, you know.
Well, we hit the 35-minute mark. We pretty much stayed on subject till about 5 minutes ago, so that's a record.
That is seriously incredible. I still love watching our old footage of us talking outside, roasting our equipment in the sun at Maker Faire, and we didn't even stay on topic for more than like 5 nanoseconds. I'm all like,
it's fun to just
talk. We seriously got to try and figure out where that spot is, and just for the sake of old time, we've got to sit down there and we got to shoot another Calvin and Jimmy show, just because.
They could do it live. We'll see if we get if Barnacle and Joel go there. We have to see if they'll come out there with us.
I'll have to see.
Like, no, we're going to go inside to the media lounge.
I'll have to see if I can get my unnamed co-star, guest host, guest production assistant to help out with it. That would
guest hottie. Hey, you can play this before.
We're just like out there, and she cruises in, and she's all like, "So, I heard there's tons of tight stuff out there." Oh man!
You see that Land Rover? Where are you going?
I went to go throw more stuff on the floor to annoy you. I forgot. I'm not wearing it now, but.
Yeah, how come you're not wearing it?
Because I'm wearing a jacket because it's cold in here.
So he got himself a deal through Merch Minion now. So he's selling shirts. He's got merch.
I got merch because
I got shake the camera. You got to dab a little bit and I got merch. And all that.
I got demonetized. I gotta sell merch to make up for it. Yes, I'm still sadly demonetized, although I have to check the stats on the last video that I did. The completely last second advert for the upcoming train show that I did, I swear, the amount of views that has gotten is just like mind blowing. And I only say that because when I put it up there, I wasn't expecting 120 views in 22 hours. That's a lot for me.
Greg wants to make a meme. Hang on. Let me help him make a meme. There you got it.
Hey, Greg, make it a GIF while you're at it. Who's this? Who's this Lucky 13 final dude with a wrench in chat? Who the heck does he think he is?
I gave him a wrench. Hey, won't you bring up a little something? Show it.
Show what?
Come on, give us a little peek. Come on.
It's downstairs in the garage.
No,
I'm still working on it. I know.
How long would it take you to go get it?
About 5 or 6 minutes.
Oh, that's too long.
Yeah.
By then, all 9 viewers will be like clicking off, and
you're gonna be like, we're sick and tired of watching Jimmy sitting here dabbing and drinking Coke out of his Daniel Naray head, and yeah. Ooh. Yeah. No, let's just say whatever it is epic, and it's machined in copper, and that's all I'm gonna say.
Dude, you should show
I'll go down there and I'll get it. I'll be back in a few.
Oh, it's gonna take you 6 minutes though, man. Oh, you're not. Are you gonna take us with you? Oh, he muted it. You know what? We're gonna click on see if that brings it up. There we go. I gotta see if I can see this. I gotta see if I can find this meth lab or something.
Everybody's getting like the unofficial live tour.
We're gonna find a grow here in a moment.
Yep, here's my grow operation. I'm growing paddleboard parts.
Sweet.
Okay, where can I set the laptop up that it's not going to fall? Okay, I'll just set it up here on the washing machine.
Did you just say washing?
Yes, I said washing machine. It's a washing machine.
Are you from Colorado?
Washing machine, Jimmy. Deal with it.
So how do you spell that?
W-U-R-S-H. Okay, let me look.
It's a joke I've got with my wife because that's from back where she's at. That's how they pronounce washing is washing.
You know what?
I'm like, how do you spell that?
You want to know something?
Yeah.
Grandma's lived in California San Francisco her whole life, and she still says Washington D.C. and washing machine.
Where was she born at?
San Francisco.
Oh my goodness.
I know. So I just say washing machine used to be silly. All right, now where did this stupid thing fall on the floor?
First nobody ever hears how Calvin actually talks. He usually says, "What's up, dude? It's like totally tubular out here in California."
Are you having fun poking fun at me while I'm on my hands and knees on the floor looking for stuff?
Oh yeah, there you go. That's it. Get in there a little bit further, Calvin. Yeah.
What are you seeing that I'm not? Are you seeing my butt?
I'm seeing your head going underneath a desk. It's not every day I get to see Calvin on his hands and knees like that.
Here. We'll make it better. We'll make it even better just because Jimmy is having so much fun. Here, look. Floor view of me on the floor looking for something I dropped because I wasn't counting on looking for it on stream. My dad's gonna watch it and go, Calvin has seriously lost his marbles. Here, so you guys can join in the fun.
What's in the spray bottle? Ooh.
Yeah, it's good stuff.
Casco.
Yeah. It's probably got some free denatured alcohol in it.
I see your fume sucker back there.
Oh yeah, my thing that I still need to do a video on, but I haven't done a video on because I'm stupid.
No, you've just been busy.
Yep, thank you.
Oh, don't worry. There is no monetization. Oh, that's right. I do have monetization on my channel, don't I? You know, honestly, every time I do a live stream, they demonetize it for like the first 3 days, and then they bring it back afterwards. So
yeah, I know, Mister. I got almost 6,500 subscribers. Woohoo! I didn't get demonetized.
Yeah, I hit 6,500 subscribers. Actually went to 6,502, and now I'm down to 6,495, I think.
Where the heck did this thing go when it fell? I know it's in here.
Curtis said, "Let it go, let it go."
I've gotten this far. I will find it.
Now it's become personal now.
Yeah, literally. I will find it. And you guys,
Greg's taking off. Take care, Greg.
I must have bored Greg a lot. Okay, so now I'm resorting to the smart person move of getting a light. Okay. Here, take 2. You guys probably think my work area is like a complete disaster. I promise it's not. Okay. Where art thou, stupid thing? I will find you before the stream is over. One way or another.
Calvin's practicing to be a plumber. Oh man, that's like the ultimate and shut up, Jimmy, right there. Brandon Jim says it's behind the meth cooker. Okay, show it. We need better light than that. You're backlighting it.
Yeah, I know.
Oh man, you can't see it. Ooh.
Yeah. They probably couldn't see it, huh?
Did you see that, Curtis?
Who's Curtis? Okay. Back up to
that's
the
your logo. That is you want to tell them what that is?
I'll tell them when I get back upstairs.
Okay.
Give me a sec. Time to leave the meth lab. Use this really fast.
Oh, he's silenced us. See if I can unmute his mic. No, I can't, rats. Looks like we're almost in the room. Now at least I know how to get to his room now.
Oh, hey.
Yeah, you muted us.
Yeah, I muted you just in case I said anything they didn't want on stream, that's all. Everyone's probably staring at me like, what the heck is Calvin doing now? So, now that we've found the stupid thing.
Hey, it's not stupid.
I know. Honestly, that thing fell in like, oh, I'll just find it in like 30 seconds. That thing fell in like the most stupid. I thought it fell on the floor. It fell on my cart of all places. That's why I couldn't find it. I kid you not. Let me pop chat out again so everybody can talk about my plumber's butt. That
Look at that. Shiny.
Okay, now tell them what it is.
It's a copper knob. That's all I'm
For
saying. I'm not saying what it's for. And you're not saying what it's for either.
what? Come
This
on.
thing is dense.
Are you going to at least do a video on it?
Heck yeah. Honestly, this finish that you see, I've done 0 polishing on it. That is off the mill.
Wow. So
Yeah.
are you planning on doing a patina on it and then polishing it?
Definitely. What I'm going to do is I'm going to oxidize. Then here is obviously recessed. Pretty much, I'm going to blacken the whole thing. Then I'm
Look,
gonna
he
come
thinks
back
he
and
said, did
polish.
you just call me a copper knob? So we got to figure out in the next few weeks when we can all get together. Me, you, and Curtis.
That would be fun.
Maybe see if oh, my mind's drawing a blank.
Rick?
Well, Greg ain't gonna be able to meet with us. He's on the East Coast.
Who is?
I said Greg's on the East Coast. I'm talking about oh man,
Rick or Travis?
Rick. Yeah, we need to see about maybe meeting up with Rick too.
You're like biggest super fan.
He's a cool guy.
Oh my gosh, Jimmy said He's gonna watch that and just sit there and just be like,
He's gonna watch the replay and he's gonna be like, "You jerk."
no,
I used to like you, Calvin. Unsub.
The reality is like a really quiet guy.
Yes, he is.
That was awesome though.
Oh, he's out of town on the week of the 19th. What is, let's see, today's the 6th. Bring up my calendar here.
They got mine.
Yeah, I'll have to find out what's going on next week. I don't get the schedule until probably about Thursday. So I'll find out what's going on and see if I can get one of the weekend days off or something.
Because from the 22nd to the 31st, I'm out of town.
Are you?
Yeah.
Okay.
We'll figure out something.
Yeah, I'll try to set something up week of the 11th.
Okay.
Like I said, I'll have to find out what the schedule is looking like. See if I can get either a Saturday or a Sunday or something.
Yeah, that'll be fun.
Are you leaving on the 19th, Curtis?
Yeah. Oh, me?
Okay. Cool. We'll get it figured out. One way or another, we'll meet up.
Hard to think that Maker Faire is like a little over 2 months away.
I know. I haven't heard nothing back about my press pass.
I need to email about that. I'm going to do that when we're done with the stream. It's just being sick and dealing with family stuff has been eating up all my free time, sadly.
Yeah.
But last time I put in the sub, it took them a long time to get back. They're like, oh, here's your press pass. Job done. I'm like, sweet. Then again, I also remember, I think it was Caleb Kraft. It was like about a month and a half before Maker Faire. He posts up, hey, if any YouTubers want to go to the show and get a press pass, send your apps in now. So,
well, a lot of people are saying that if you get a press pass, you don't have to buy the tickets. Last year, I did both.
Last year, I did both too. And then I figured out from multiple people that I actually didn't have to do that. And I was like, bummer.
Oops. That'd have been a lot cheaper.
Yeah, all I would be complaining about was the train tickets to and from there, not train tickets plus admission. But I didn't know.
Well, it's got to be better than paying for the parking across the street. My goodness.
Oh, man.
Okay, so Curtis is leaving. My chat froze up. So Curtis is leaving on the 18th. So he's leaving on that Sunday.
Okay.
So, yeah, it'll have to be either the Sunday the 11th or Saturday the 17th. I'll see what I can do. In fact, I'll talk to my boss tomorrow and see if there's a way that maybe I can get Sunday off. If I can get the 11th off, you have your train show this weekend, don't you?
I'm going to be busy the 9th to the 11th.
Okay. So 17th?
17th, pretty much the 17th or the 18th would be the only 2 days that I would be free.
So I'll talk to her tomorrow and see if there's a way I can get the 17th off. And we'll just plan on meeting up like at noon somewhere. That way it gives them plenty of time to get stuff taken care of and packed and everything. I don't want to keep them out late.
Nah. Although I know we're going to stay out late partying like we always do.
Oh yeah, we'll stay out until like 1 or 2 in the morning and
live stream it all. Like coming back from Vegas, that was great. Oh, it's the New Year on the road. Oh, look, it's the north side of Salinas. Oh, look, there's fireworks going off. Are we home yet? No.
So Mr. Carol Science is saying not to be intrusive if it didn't go well, but how'd your interview go? I think my interview went pretty good. I mean, I had answers for every one of the questions he had. Everything seemed like it went really good, but it's been going on a week tomorrow, and I have not heard a word back. But on the plus side, I haven't seen anybody new over there either, so I don't think they hired anybody. So either nobody impressed them, or it definitely wasn't me. I don't know which. Or then again, he is a very busy guy. His district runs all the way from the Mexico border all the way up to Alaska. So he's got a very, very big district. Still keep my fingers crossed, but at the same time, there's a flip side to it too. If I got that job, it's a 5-week training deal that you have to do before you actually walk in as the manager. 1 week is spent in another town following around another manager. That would probably be over in Fresno or so. It'd probably be in Fresno, I'm guessing. You spend another week traveling with the district manager going through his district, which once again goes all the way through California up, all the way up to Alaska. I'm guessing he'd probably keep fairly local. And then you have to go to Chicago for a week. And that's like, really? So 3 weeks away from home, I have a 5-week period. That's be a first for me.
Considering you and Beth are like joined at the hip, that could be hard.
Yeah. So if it happens, I'll have to figure something out. But at the same time, it's right now just a wait and see thing.
I hear you. I wish I could go into details about what's going on with me right now, but I can't at the moment. But let's just say that sometime in the future, expect probably an announcement video from me regarding stuff. So it should be interesting.
Take care, JT. Thanks for joining us.
Have a good one, JT.
Yeah, things are changing, that's for sure. But we'll see.
The irony is, Jimmy was saying, though, he was hoping that if he landed the job, he would be in Chicago around Murph, and then he would just like sneak off over there and sneak up behind Daniel and the Ray and be like, "Hi, Daniel." And
then Daniel, right behind him, get right next to his ear, say, "I know what you did last night." You're like, what the?
We got Sparky in here. This is like a first.
What?
Yeah.
Sparky, thank you for joining. Long time no see.
If you guys haven't seen, she's been doing, a long time ago, she did a kind of like a little fundraising thing where she's like, send me a couple of bucks and I'll design you a whatever. And I, to this day, I'm just like blown away at the stuff that she can design. It is just, I'm looking at it going, okay, so I can design up a little brass leather stamp, or I can design up a knob for Curtis, or, things like that. And then she's over there designing up like frogs and butterflies and butterfly frog hybrids. And I'm like, put my work to shame. Awesome. And for like all the right reasons, though. I mean, the stuff that she does is just insane. I kid you guys not. It's amazing.
Okay, Tessa, so how old's the baby now, and how's he doing? He'll take 30 seconds, but...
It's working its way to somewhere in Australia right now.
More like it's working its way through the YouTube servers.
YouTube servers over in Oh, my brain's not working. Sorry, I'm like trying to check up on side stuff because of the show coming up. We're all discussing last minute details and crap, and it's fun. It's all legit.
I thought it was the peanut butter and jelly sandwich kicking in.
No, not yet.
It's all that oil that got put into it, that special oil. So Charlie is turning 1 in a couple of weeks. Man, that is something. I figured he was getting close to it. Healthy, happy, and almost walking. That is awesome.
I remember it was like not that long ago that you're like, oh yeah, I'm pregnant, and then all of a sudden you have a little one, and then all of a sudden he's like 1, and it's like, now we a parent, man, time flies.
Brennan Chip says, don't forget YouTube had to turn the letters upside down too.
And then spin it through the wires backwards.
Hey Paul, how you doing? Thanks for joining. We got brew it, print it, and build it, and blast it in here. My mouse was right in the way. Hey guys, how you doing?
Oh man, you guys missed me running down to the garage to find something that got dropped. This, and then you guys missed Jimmy harassing me about being a plumber and my meth lab and my grow operate. Oh, it was great. If you guys go back and watch the playlist, it is actually hilariously funny because it was not planned, and it took me longer than I thought to find it, which made it even worse because it didn't drop where I thought it did. It was great.
You dropped your knob?
You're so bad. Okay. So I have a genuine question here for people. I've noticed that since I've upgraded the Ultimaker here to have a plus style extruder that I picked up off AliExpress, it's a good extruder and it works really well. But
off of AliExpress? You didn't tell me that part of it. There's your problem.
I've upgraded the thing to the 2 Plus firmware, and it's feeding the right way and everything like that, but the steps per rev are off, and I'm trying to update the firmware on the machine, but it's not letting me. Does anybody know how to do that? Because it's driving me a little bit bonkers, and it's not like I can just jump into Notepad and change things. I've tried doing like the whatever command, but it kept freezing up with Simplify 3D, so I couldn't really tell what was up with that.
So print it, build it, and blast it says, if you have a meth lab, you obviously don't sample your own product. You still have your teeth.
Nah, I just used the people in the park across the street to do that for me. I like my teeth.
Sparky says a smart businessman doesn't sample his own wares.
Which is why I'm not wearing my Make It With Calvin shirt from Merch Minion right now, because that'd be a stupid businessman move.
Hey, it's been a long time deal, you know. Since the stream's demonetized anyway, you don't have to worry about it. like they always say, the worst drug dealer is what does drugs.
In 3 days, he'll get his monetization back. We all know it.
Yeah, nah. This was a freebie.
I'll be honest though, it's kind of almost ironic in a sense, since I didn't meet their new requirements, that when I upload something, I'm just like, oh, I don't have to worry about checking if it's monetized or not, because it's not.
Speaking of monetization, go ahead and pop up your merch, man. Let's see that shirt. You gotta do a little dab whenever you do it, okay? Actually, why don't you put the shirt on?
Give me a sec. Give me a sec.
Rover says he posted a fix for it that above. Fix for what? I know of a video to help you on that problem. Okay. I don't see anything. Go ahead. Okay, what you got here, man? Ooh, oh my goodness, what are you doing over there?
I'm not doing a Barnacles on stream.
Come on, you gotta have some posties on there.
Nope, I don't have any stickers. This is just way too much.
Put some maker coins over it. Come on. Yeah, look at that shirt. Come on, you gotta say something.
It's awesome. You know you want one.
Post the link.
I actually don't have the link, and if I post links in the chat, they don't work.
They should.
Oh, no.
I use a mod. Really?
I'll try.
Try it. Otherwise, send me the link and I'll post it on there. Anyway, so what he's doing to try to get a little bit of money, you know, instead since YouTube demonetized them. Yeah, there you go. It showed up.
Yeah, but does the link work?
Let me check it. Let's see. Yeah, it works.
Huh.
And it's still
you guys
loading.
Think of the so far tees and hoodies.
Well, it's going to kind of a combination of everybody's shirts here. Oh, there's yours.
You scroll down, you find it. Here,
Yeah,
I'll
there's
do
yours. Right next to Practical Printings.
I'm
gonna have to order one. I'm gonna have to order one. Then I'm gonna have to get you a Jimmy Shaw's Tidbits shirt so we can get like reverse shirts whenever we go to Maker Faire.
I might just annoy everybody at the Maker Faire and let me find it. Wear my Yosemite short line shirt. Oh, I forgot. Just in case Daniel Norey comes on, I should probably put on my open railway shirt.
Daniel Norey is still asleep, man.
I don't care.
Our poor European audience has got completely just kind of left out on this one.
We're gonna have to do like a secondary stream of like midnight for them.
Are you doing posties again or what?
Yeah. So just in case Daniel Norey comes on, I'm now rocking the open railway shirt. I might actually wear this at the show on Friday for fun. We'll see.
Yeah. You ought to.
I will. You'd be like, what the heck's open railway? You don't get that. Oh crap, Eddie's in here.
Hey Eddie, how you doing?
Ryan. Let me plug in my fancy mic again so we're not using crappy laptop mic.
I wonder what happened to you. Well, yeah, I knew what you did, but it wasn't that much different.
Are we on? Yes, we're back on the snowball. Because I do notice that the whatchamacallit, the snowball does work better than the laptop mic.
Let's see, Rover say posted it above your link. It didn't show through. It didn't come through on it.
I don't see it either. And he's saying he's still kicking, so he can't.
Let's make it where he can. Let's see here. Where's it at? There we go. Now try it, Rover. I bet it'll go through now. I just gave him his dream.
Oh, God.
Gave him a wrench.
Oh boy. I still love that screen when I muted my dad and then he and then you gave him a wrench.
Yeah, how come he's not on here beating people with a wrench? There it is.
He's probably working on stuff right now. Oh, that's not it.
Skip ad.
No, I'm trying to go back now.
I'll have to watch it later. I'm not going to play it right now during this.
I'm gonna go dig up a chat. This is not cool.
What's that?
I accidentally lost chat.
I did too.
Very sad.
All I gotta do is find the back button. There we go. Okay, I got my chat back.
So how many of you guys saw the little funny video that I posted up yesterday of the train layout thing? I made and thought the music was a little too dark.
I thought it was a little bit dark myself too, but it seemed like it was doing pretty good.
I'll be honest, when I did the music at the time, I thought, oh, it's cool because it's kind of like, interesting. And then after the fact, I'm like, nah, come off. It was a little dark. But can I show them the hilarious updated version of it?
Sure.
Oh, it's funny. Just give me a sec. Let me I'm gonna upload it on a whatchamacallit, on a unlisted link. Okay, so now I'm sharing. Okay, tell me if this works.
Yeah.
Can you see it?
Yeah.
Okay, here we go.
Dude, you're totally going to get me demonetized with sneaking Thomas the Train Engine.
I don't care.
All you got to do now is take it and go into Sneaking After Effects and put a sneaking Thomas the Train Engine face on the front of that train.
I might just drop a smiley face similar to Thomas and stick it on one of my trains as a joke.
Oh, God. It's definitely better than that music that you had on yesterday.
Thanks a lot. Hater.
Axe murder to come out from the tunnel at any moment. Rick's all, oh jeez, no! Thank you, Sparky, for joining. Thank you very much.
So there, was that better?
Yeah, that was better. Or just add it on along with your other one. You don't have to delete your other one. Might as well get two for the price of one, right?
Might as well, because everybody was complaining about it. I will upload that and make it actually. I think I'll make it public and I'll put in the comments because everybody hated the music on the other one. Boom!
Just go in and put it in a card, put it up there for a lighter musical version. Click here.
Yes. Yes. I had thought about doing like some of the other ones, but I thought that one, because it was like a remix of the Thomas the Tank Engine, I'm like, that's going to be even better. We're totally going to do that. Of which I did get a lot of positive feedback, though. People did like the video, which was cool. And like I said, the whole point when I made it was a last minute idea to try and plug the show, plug the upcoming train show. So when I did the video late at night, I was just like, what's the first track I can find that works? And I did that. And then I was thinking to myself after the fact, everybody's like, oh, the music's so creepy, but it's cool. Then I'm all like, ooh, I should just like totally like flip it on its head and dig up like one of the most annoying train theme songs ever, Thomas the Tank Engine, and then find like some remix on YouTube and do that. And I'm like,
that music made me hate the world. He wants to destroy toy trains.
Hey,
the question is it a useful engine?
I have thought about making up a Thomas the Tank Engine inspired train just for all the kids, but then I'm like, nah, I'm not going to do that yet. So Eddie's asking, what scale trains are these? Well, I'm just grabbing whatever's closest to hand. This is an ON30 rail truck, so it runs on HO track, but it's O scale. So it's 148 scale running on 187 scale track, modeling approximately 30-inch narrow gauge.
Check out the Kotu Thomas the Train on Fallout bots. What?
Rick's saying, don't forget to add Bob the Builder. So what do you
Add a Bob Builder to the inside of the little cab.
Here's what we're gonna have. We're gonna have Thomas the Tank Engine with Bob the Builder driving, with like the Teletubbies on the back, and then who knows what following afterwards.
Yeah, the guys will say, we definitely know he's from San Francisco. Especially with the purple Teletubby.
Reminds me of Weird Al's fake interview with Snoop Dogg when he's asking him like which Teletubby is his favorite, and he's all like, "I know it's Lala, right?" And Snoop Dogg's all like, "Oh yeah, that's right." It's so great. Oh, I love it.
This chat, this whole stream just went off the rails bad tonight, didn't it?
No pun intended.
No, it was completely intended.
Robert, then we got to add Barney on the train as well. Oh gosh, this thing's gonna be like everything crappy that I never watched in childhood. It's gonna be terrifying. I have nightmares.
This whole stream has turned into a train wreck.
So Elon Todd says, and he thought trying to fill his dorm areas with a load of toy dinosaurs and playing the Jurassic theme song to annoy his dorm mates was a bad idea. That's actually pretty funny, I got to admit. I personally, I like a good, messing around with people, but I don't really like the ones where you like scare the living daylights out of somebody, because as somebody who personally hates it when that happens to them, I don't like that. But I do like when people do more like subtle things, like they put like one rubber ducky in somewhere one day, then they put two, and they put like they almost like make it grow exponentially, so it's like taking over an area. So it's subtle, but it's hilarious.
Rick says Tinky Winky died.
Oh, that's sad. Was that the purple one?
I don't know. I honestly didn't know anything about him. That was after my childhood was over.
Oh, that's even better. I guess it was automated to start playing when they opened the door. That is great. Next week's show, we're going to be talking about pranks we pulled on people.
Hey, why not?
Rover's saying,
Nancy's in the house. Hello, Nancy. How you doing?
Rover's saying, remember Stereo Wars in college? Yeah, I don't remember that. That was before my time.
Stereo Wars in college. Well, I didn't go to college, so I'm trying to remember what the Stereo Wars would have been.
Probably where
the giant boom boxes that they used to carry around.
Probably setting it up against the wall and blasting it as loud as they could. Probably.
Rick says it was the purple one.
Oh, that's just sad. This whole thing has just gone totally to poop.
But you know what? We have more viewers now than we did when we were talking about the stuff we were supposed to be talking about.
You know what's really annoying? Good example. I put up my creepy music promo video and I get just bombarded with views. Then I put up like machining one of these guys watches. Hey, quit jumping over me, Jimmy. Don't make me jump in the car and drive down there on live stream and turn your mic off.
Oh, bring it. I dare you. I got something for you right here, man.
You know what would actually be hilarious is if you had Beth standing outside the door, like on cue.
I'm going to do this all night. Oh, man.
You know what would be hilarious is if you had Beth on cue, like open the door to make like I walk off set, and then like 30 seconds later, Beth opens the door to fake speed. Like, you coming? You just like throw the ball. That would be hilarious.
Yeah, it would.
Or like I'm in the other room that we faked to make it look like my set, and I just like walk on over there like knock knock.
Oh goodness. Well, you want to go ahead and call it?
Yeah, I say we
Get out
call
here
it.
early tonight so you can get some sleep and get ready for this weekend when we gotta set the clocks forward an hour. I don't know about the rest of the world, but here in the U.S., we gotta set our clocks forward 1 hour, except for what, in Arizona? I think they're the only ones that are safe from that one.
Yeah, all I know is my phone resets it, and then I'm like really cranky for 3 days.
Let's see. Yeah, it looks like everybody's about ready. Okay, man. So let's call it. So next week on your channel?
Next week on my channel, don't know what we're going to talk about yet.
I thought we were going to talk about pranks to pull on people.
That was more as a joke, but if you guys seriously want us to talk about that next week, please tweet it out to us, and we might just do it because my joke turned into a real thing. I'm done.
Honestly, we need to come up with some topics other than trying to talk about these companies and their stupid decisions.
Honestly, I don't want to sound mean, but I totally understand. There's sometimes when we're doing the show where I'm just like, great, is this just turning into a bash fest on everything?
Did you get all those messages I sent you the other day when you were in class?
That was great.
So I knew he was in class. I knew he was. So I'm like, hey, what do you want to talk about tomorrow night? I'm like, so I put out a question to him and nothing. I put out another question to him and nothing. So then I turn around, I just go on there and like, you know what? I'm just going to keep on shooting ideas at you until you answer me back. And I was just shooting all these stupid ideas. Does every live stream have to start with a question?
Oh, he got some really good ones in there. Is Calvin going to propose to fill in the blank, who's like the love of his life? And I'm like, oh, just shut up, Jimmy.
Did I fix the 3D printer? Yes, I did. I got it working. I've got an issue with it now, and it's actually it's an issue that when I look back at the prints, this was one of the last prints I did whenever it failed. And see how it's got different texture partway through it? So I got to looking back at some of the prints I had done. This one's dusty. Forgive me from this one. This was a really good print that came out on it. And you don't see any of the variations in the layer height. But somewhere between that one and when I started doing these, there's now a variation that showed up. And it actually, where did it go? I did a Marvin the other day. Man, I had it right here on the desk. I don't see it. Oh, well. But it's every so many layers, it's changing. It's like it's either under extruding or something. I don't know what it is, but it's changing texture. And so I got to figure that out. I don't know if it's going to be a firmware issue or what I did in settings to change it, but I need to get in there and figure out what's going on with that. I saw some complaints recently. It was after the last firmware update, which I did do on that printer. And it was talking about there were some issues with under extrusion, over extrusion on the same print every so many layers. And so I'm thinking it's more of a widespread problem than just my printer. So I'll have to look into that probably this week.
Fair enough.
Right now, I'm just kind of playing around with it's a battery, one of those USB chargers, battery backup, or whatever I don't know what you call the thing. It's one of those battery packs. And I just got that last night, so I've been using that today. I walked in last night and started to do a video on it, just unboxing it and playing around. So I'm going to use it for the next week and just see how it's doing. But from what I can tell, it's charging the phone up pretty good.
I hear some of those work really well, and then some of them don't. But I get the idea that they're more intended to be used as charge it up in the sun, use it when you're not in the sun.
This thing was like $10 on Wish.
Yeah, I went on the Wish shop about something because that's like what I do because I'm Jimmy.
Point out Calvin. He gets so over exaggerated. I'm kind of thinking about going back over the TiVo. I've got. I actually picked up some more aluminum material to put over those wires. That's actually. Here we go. It's a 1/2 inch aluminum material for putting over that. Where I go over the connectors and everything and cover the wires up. So I want to get that finished out, and then probably do a final thought video as far as whether it was worth the upgrades and everything, which I tell you right now, it totally was.
Especially that crazy fan mod.
Yeah, I will tell you, and no disrespect to G-Tech at all. I love that company. I love the people who work there. They're really nice people. They've been very good to me. Sad part is that printer right now is probably one of the best printing printers I've got. And it's just really shocked me. And it has to do with the cooling. I honestly think if I go back and play with the cooling on this one, it would be a very good printer. But that cooling made all the difference in the world on that one.
Well, especially when you're printing PLA, cooling makes or breaks a print. That's the big thing to keep in mind. But then the problem you run into is, my issue is if I have too much cooling, I will actually cool my hot end so much on my Ultimaker, it'll actually send it into temperature error mode and shut the print down because it thinks something's wrong with it. So I need to go in there and probably wrap my heater head again with Teflon tape or something to insulate it. But yeah, it's interesting.
Thank you, Paul, for joining. Have a good night. Well, let's go ahead and call it.
Go ahead and call it. It was fun.
Let's see. Ewan said, Jimmy, just blow on the print while it's going. You can do it.
I think he means go get the sandblasting truck, turn it on, and aim that in the general direction. Do
you remember back in the day when Angus used to take and put a fan next to his printer and it'd blow across the print bed?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't blame him.
I remember him doing that on a few different printers.
Especially when you consider how hot it is down in Australia. You just need large volumes of air moving by to artificially drop the temperature. So it made sense. I mean, I don't blame him one iota for doing that.
Yeah, I don't either. I've actually thought about doing that a few times. In fact, there has been times where I have set, if I had some layers that were curling real bad, I would actually be there going, trying my best to give it. I've even went as far. I don't see my Build Protect Spatula. If you look at the bottom of it, see that melted plastic there?
Yep.
I actually took one of those lighters and actually heated that up and pushed down on a part one time because it was curling, and I was just trying to keep it from curling so much. So I was actually ironing it out.
You know what we would do at my old job sometimes if there was, lots of stringing in spots? We would just take a heat gun and just warm it up. Or if there was areas that were a little bit rough, we'd just take a heat gun and warm it up and then just kind of, smooth it out. But we were also printing in PETG so we could get away with it, Yeah.
Okay, well, let's call it. Thank you guys very much for joining. It means a lot that you guys come into the chat and interact with us and keep tormenting Calvin about his hair. It's just one of the highlights of my week.
Yep, same here.
Thank you very much for joining, and we will see you next week over on Calvin's channel.
Later.
Have a good one. Take care.